My name is Yola, and today we're gonna read the one and only Ivan story starting at 157 page. So this chapter name is Colors. So we should start reading from this chapter again. And yesterday's story was about that Stella died. So Ruby, the another baby elephant, were gonna be the center of this, the one and only Ivan circus. So let's see this, more stories for today. Not already for read this one, but with a lot of stories. Now here we go. And first we should read the one and only Ivan starting at Colors chapter. Julia opens the Metro box. I see a row of little squares. Green, blue, red, black, yellow, purple, orange. The colors seem to glow. She pulls out a brush with a dainty tip at the tail its end. She dips the brush in the water it rests in the paper, then taps in the red square. When the brush meets the damp paper, pink petals of the color amber in the morning flowers. I can't take my eyes at a magical brush. For a moment, I'm not thinking about Ruby and Mac and the claw stick and Stella. Almost. Julia touches red again, then blue, and there, suddenly, it's a purple of a ripe grape. She touches the blue, and her paper returns to the summer sky, black and white, and now I see she's painting a picture of Ruby. I can make her floppy ears, her thick legs. Julia stops painting. She takes a few steps back, hands on her hips, gazing at her work. She clouds. It's not right, she says. She glances over her shoulder at me. I try to encourage him. Julia starts to crumple in the paper, then resconces, and instead slides into my cage at the spot where the glass is broken. Here you go, she says, a Julia original. They'll worth millions someday. Gingerly, I pick up the paper. I did not eat a single bite of it. Oh, hey, I almost forgot. Julia runs to her backpack. She pulls out 3 plastic jars, one yellow, one blue, and one red. She opens the jars, and an odd, not food smell hits on my nose. Julia pushes on the jars one by one through the opening. Then she slides some paper through. This is called the flower paints. Finger paints, she said. My aunt gave them to me, but really am too old for finger painting. I stick a finger into the red jar. The paint is thick as mud. It's good and smooth like bananas underfoot. I put my finger into my mouth. It's not actually red mango, but it's not bad. Julia laughs. You don't eat it, you paint with it. She grabs a piece of paper and presses her finger on it. See? Like this. I place my finger on a piece of paper. I left it and a red mark is there. I got a bigger glove from the pot and slammed my hand down on the page. When I pull my hand off the paper, its red twin piece stays behind. It's not like ghostly handprints on my glass, the ones my visitors leave behind. This handprint can't be so easily wiped away. I lie awake, peeling dried red paint of my fingerprints. Bob, who accidentally walked on one of my paintings, is licking his red paws. Every so often, I glance up my empty ring. The claw stick glints under the moonlight. Stop! No! Ruby's frantic cries startled me. Ruby, I call, you're having a bad dream. You're okay. You're safe. Where's Stella? She said, gulping air. Before I answer, she says, never mind, I remember now. Go back to sleep, Ruby. I say, you have a hard day. I can go back to sleep, she says. I'm afraid I'll have the same dream. There was a sharp stick and it hurt. I look at Bob. He looks at me. Oh, Ruby says. Oh, Mac. She puts her trunk between the bars. Do you think, she hesitates, do you think Mac is mad because I hurt him today? I consider lying. The girls are terrible liars. Probably, I finally say. He ran after that, Ruby says. Bob gives a scornful laugh. Curled away is more like it. We're quiet for a moment. Roger's clawed at the roof. The light rain dims. One of the parrots murmurs something in her sleep. Ruby breaks the silence. Ivan, I smell something funny. He can't help it, Bob says. I believe she's referring to finger paints Julia gave me, I say. What are finger paints? Ruby says. You make pictures with them, I explain. Could you make a picture of me? Maybe someday. I remember Julia's picture, the one that will be worth $1 million. I hold it up to the glass. Look, it's you. Julia made it. It's hard to see, Ruby says. That's not much moonlight. Why do I have two trunks? I examine the picture. Those are feet. Why do I have 2 feet? They're called artistic limbs, Bob says. Ruby sighs. Could you tell me another story? She asks. I don't think I can never go back to sleep. I told you all I remember, I say with a helpless shrug. Then tell me a story, she says. Make something up. I tried to think, but my thoughts keep returning to Mac and his claw stick. Anything yet? Ruby asked. I'm working on it. Ivan? Ruby presses. Bob says you're going to save me. I search for true words. I'm working on that too. Ivan? Ruby says in the voice so low. Ivan? Ruby says, no voice so low I can barely hear her. I have another question. I can tell from the sound that her voice will be a question I don't want to answer. Ruby taps her trunk against the rusty iron bars of the door. Do you think, she says, that I die in this domain someday like Aunt Stella? Once again, I consider lying, but when I look at Ruby, the half-formed words sigh in my throat. Not if I can't help it, I say instead. I feel something tighten in my chest, something dark and hot. And it's not a domain, I add. I pause, then I say it's a cage. Now we should start reading from the next chapter for tomorrow, and the next chapter name is the story. So let's see the story for tomorrow, next story for tomorrow, and please thumbs up my YouTube. And let's see you tomorrow, guys. See you at Saturday. And please thumbs up my YouTube. Bye-bye, everyone.